All right, good evening. I brought two quick things. They're at the opposite ends of the homebrew spectrum. The first one, I like tube rigs, and I needed to be able to put a scope into a tube rig. VBAT on the one I was looking at, or V plus, or whatever they call it, 575 volts. My scope, class 2 standard scope, 300 volt maximum input. It's hard to find scope probes that are rated to that high voltage as well. It's lethal stuff. So what I did was the scope impedance on the input was a mega ohm. So I just took an Altoid box, the favorite of home brewers, right? Took an Altoid box and put inside of it three meg resistors in series. Why not one 9 meg resistor? Because your standard resistor has got about a 450 volt arc over. So when I hit 450, I'm going to burn up that resistor, and then I'm going to burn up my scope. So three meg resistors gets me well above kilovolt. So put those in series. I insulated it. It's a real simple adapter. Just have some banana jacks in one end, a BNC to hook to the scope on the other end, and now I can stick my scope right into a live, hot, scary tube rig, and all I have to worry about is killing myself, not the scope. So that's a fun little project. Just took me a little bit of time to build. I had pretty much all the parts around, and then I labeled it 1 kV, 10 to 1 scope adapter. Set the scope at 10 to 1 and ready to use that. The other thing I brought in was this actually got a lot of attention when I took it to an Aries meeting. It's only about the size of 2 fingers. I'm using 2 fingers, okay? It's about the size of 2 fingers here. This is a Raspberry Pi Zero. So this is not something I specifically homebrewed myself, but I got a Pi Zero, Zero W at Micro Center with the Pi No IR camera, which is their infrared camera. Works really well in low light. And the package here is a $5 package. So I've got $5 in the Pi. There's a micro SD in it, of course. Anyway, basically what I do is, once I set it up, all I do is put power into it. It comes up on my network. And what did I use this for? There's a little rental property right next to us, a tiny, teeny little house, not even 1,000 square feet. And one day, 16 people moved into it, and they kept showing up and leaving in a bus. And we told the county about it, and the county said, we need proof, we need video. So we didn't have time to put up something like a ring system. So I just went to Micro Center, made this happen in an afternoon. And this takes 1080p, 1080i, 1080i video. It's fantastic. It's good like a cell phone, and it's teeny tiny. The great thing is you can hook it to a lithium-ion battery. Just use it right on your network, and it works fantastic in low-light situations. Also works in high, regular daylight. The only weird thing is the greens appear to be pink, but because it's an infrared camera. But fun little project, was really helpful, and the county was actually able to use this footage to get those folks moved out of there. So that's the 2 ends of the spectrum that I brought tonight. How did I do on my time, Randy?
3 minutes and 45 seconds.
Awesome.
Good.
You want me to do something else? No. I'm just kidding.
Anyway, I'd like to introduce Daniel Reed. He's one of the students in McConnell Middle School, our radio club there. He's going to tell you some of the things we've been building at the club.
Okay, so last year we built a fox for fox building. Okay, so we first used a breadboard to model the fox, and as you can see, it should be working. First thing we have is a timer which tells the light how long it should be going and how much to transmit. The energy converter, it changes the energy from the battery so that it doesn't burn the actual transmitter. The oscillator actually produces the frequency and tells what the frequency to go on. The frequency is 147.4550 megahertz, and this is a directional antenna which was created last year by the group. As you can see, it hooks up to the radio, and you can use it to find the fox. It's made out of pipes and a tape header. Last thing was created 3 years ago, and it sort of acts as a body blocker. You put the radio inside, and then if you hear the frequency when it's like this, then you know that the fox would be on in the opposite direction.
I'm Dave, WJ.
This evening I bring kind of one of my prized possessions. It's a 1480 meter CW transmitter that I made completely from scratch, completely homebrew. It's made, the chassis was made in the Reddit shop. It was made in 1960 when I got my novice license. And it, original design was 2 tubes, one a rectifier tube for high voltage, the other is a 6146, which is basically a high-powered oscillator. And in building it, the only problem I had was that it did have not a good clean signal. There was a little bit of dirt, so I added an OA2 voltage regulator. So technically now it's 3 tubes. But with this transmitter, I entered a science fair in 7th grade. And I actually brought my receiver, had the transmitter hooked up to a dummy load antenna, which at that time was a 40-watt light bulb. Nothing fancy. And I had a friend of mine that happened to live not too far from the school that also got his novice license. And when it came to my time to demonstrate things, I actually had a live contact from the science fair. I ended up winning it, which was nice. But this is something that still works today. Has had no modifications other than it is crystal powered, and a lot of hands here may not know what that is. Crystal determines the frequency, and if you want to change frequency, you have to change crystal. But this is, with this, I ended up in my 1-year novice term, which at that time the novice license was a little bit earlier. I ended up doing work all states. So that was between 40 and 80 weeks. And the reason I brought this is to show, what we did way back in the last century. So,
Millennia.
yeah, that too. What can I say? But it still works. I still get on the air with it. It's a lot of fun. There's only one dangerous part to it. The CW key that you use, straight key, you have to watch because this has cathode key. Higher voltage appears on the key, so you have to go with the key. Several times I know it's there, but still got to do it. So that's the only dangerous thing. Anybody has any questions, please see me after. And thank you all for joining us. And have a good evening.
Good evening. I'm Bailey, been in Forte. I call CQ and CW. Okay. About 10 tips. What's it called? January, we have a meeting that's called
Tech Fest.
Huh?
Tech Fest.
Tech Fest. Rain N1 or N4LQ gave a presentation at Steve Ellington. He was talking about something I had never heard of, but turned out he was talking about an in-fed half-wave dipole. How do you take a piece of coax, connect it to the end of the wire, and call it an in-fed half-wave dipole? It's sometimes people say, well, you need a 9-to-1 balance. That's not what he was talking about. So, Paul Kelly, Phil, 3HZZ and I all agreed we wanted to make one of these. And it's simply an interface that connects the coax to the end of the wire. The wire can be 67 feet long or 134 feet long. 134 will take you from 80 meters to 10 meters. The other one will be 40 meters and up. But it utilizes, you can see it, there's 3 stacked toroids. The 240-43 grain toroid, and it's got a matching networking here at the bottom. I use an eye bolt supported by a rope, so that I'm not putting a strain on the wire connector. And this is generally about 4 feet off the ground. So you take the wire, go vertical as high as you can, then laterally, and either using up to 67 feet or 134 feet. So you're on HF, but just a very easy antenna, HF antenna setup. The wing nut is to connect to a ground rod, which is right next to the underneath the interface or transformer. They call it a 49-to-1 ratio transformer. There's a primary, has 2 turns, and then the secondary has 14 turns. If you're interested in this, do a search on Facebook for in-fed half-wave transformers, or read the and look for more information. This is kind of a works in progress. Steve started it. Other guys all over the world are coming up with adaptations and arrangements that are a little bit different, but the same thing. The results are great. It's just easy. It makes it easy to go operate portable, or if you're operating in an HOA neighborhood, you can use stealth with this pretty effectively. So, no more excuses that you can't get on HF. Okay?
What was your cost?
Oh, hertz-wise and wire, I think I have about $40. But if you buy the same thing from my antenna or another commercial company, they're asking 120 and up. And I got to build it. I didn't originally design it, but I got to contribute the winding and the toroids and all that business. Anyway, kind of fun. All right, I'm out of time. Any questions? Great. See you on the air.
Hi, I'm Norm, WA4ZXV. Well, my idea was to build this code practice oscillators from QRP guys. It actually can be used as a key or a code practice oscillator. You can actually hook 2 keys up to it and practice between 2 people using just the one code oscillator. Here's a picture of what it would have looked like if I had finished it. It's $30. It's fairly universal. It replaces a lot of other things. So when you build it, you're not just building a code practice oscillator. You can actually use it as a key. You can use it as a straight key, or you can use it as a pattern. That's all I've got. I'll have it at my seat. It's from qrpguys.com. I yield the rest of my time.
So y'all might have heard as I was walking up here, this comment that came from somebody here with "oh" as it came to time. And it's that "oh" that did not remind me to bring my kit tonight. So, I'm just going to show a little bit here tonight, some things. I've got a number of these out here. Digital modes. Who's on VHF, UHF digital today? And that's just a fairly large number in here. One of the things that has changed with the world is with VHF, UHF digital modes now, we've got these things called hotspots. And these things that are called hotspots allow you to use your radios and connect to the rest of the network and talk to people around the world. I've got a little collection of them. This one here is the first one that was developed by Rowan Keshaw, A4RC, who lives down in Atlanta. This thing has been around for 10 years. And well, this one comes completely simple. Well, you have to put the antenna on it. You have to load the software. You have to configure the software a little bit. It is a product, but it is really nice, the things that you start to be able to do with these. Get to this one here is one that is called the DB Mega. It's one of the first ones that require a little bit of assembly. So what this is, you're looking at here in this picture, besides the case, there is a Raspberry Pi. Kyle showed his Raspberry Pi with a little bitty camera on it. This is actually a Raspberry Pi with a board on it that's a transceiver. And the digital modes can use this transceiver, be it P25, DMR, H3 System Fusion, or D-Star, and you can get on these and talk to the network. These you do have to assemble, which means taking the Raspberry Pi, putting another board on top of it, putting it in a case, putting an antenna on it, and setting up a SD card for use. So it takes a little bit of work to do these, but people are loving these. It's really kind of turning amateur radio more into cellular, where people have their own little hotspots around. You're not dependent upon the repeaters as much anymore. Here's a little bit better picture. You can see on this one where there is the DB Mega that sits on top of a Raspberry Pi. I think it's a B, an old one. And so you have to put these together a little bit and start using them. Okay, that's the DB dongle. This is, like I would say, the first one that was developed. We'll show the DB4 Mini. The DB4 Mini, not really used that awful much anymore. I think they're still selling them. Basically, you just plug this computer, you see the antenna jack on the side of this. All of these put out 10 milliwatts. How far does 10 milliwatts go? Anybody got any ideas? Yeah, just around the house. If you put them on a big antenna, you might get a mile out of them or something like that. But it's surely enough range. These are really meant for you, with you. These can run off computers. The DB Mega, this has got the Raspberry Pi, so it's got the computer inside of it. Give it the internet and you're on the air. Another one that came out, is the Open Spot. This is one that is completely already built for you, so you don't do much for it except for plug in a micro USB for some power and plug in an Ethernet cable. And again, these all work with D-Star, DMR, Fusion, and P25, although you're not going to find a lot of P25 on it. So these are ones, those are the Open Spot. One of the things that occurs with some of these is they have little differences now. So this one only works for Ethernet, whereas the DB Mega, there's actually an Ethernet port on the side of it. You can also put a Bluetooth dongle into this one, and it works off, sorry, not Bluetooth, but a Wi-Fi dongle in here, and it'll work off Wi-Fi also. So people use these and attach them to their phones and all sorts of things. So you can have a QSO with the same person. It's going to be really, really bored, but kind of pretty much drive from here to LA and keep the same conversation going on. You don't have to keep switching repeaters. You don't have to switching things. You just keep traveling. We've done this from here to Orlando, from here to Dayton. We've had that same conversation going on many, many times. Here's one of the new ones that's out. This is the Zoom Spot. The big difference is this one's a little bit smaller. There's one here. Okay, good. We'll show some. So this is the Zoom Spot with the battery. The battery's here in the back. The Zoom Spot's here in the front. So really what you're seeing right here is a Zoom Spot. It's a really, really small little package. And so HRO sells this as a kit that you can put together. And so it's I think HRO sell it for about $139. So if you have a digital radio, these are great little things that you can play with. Basically here, what Doug does, he'll plug this up into here, give it power. He's got his cell phone or his hotspot, turns the hotspot on, then all of a sudden he just gets his radio out and starts talking to it. It's a really, really nice thing to do, really, really a lot of fun.
Talking to who?
Say again?
He gets his radio out and starts talking to who?
Whoever talks back.
So whoever talks back, and that truly is around the world.
So it's connected to the internet.
It's connected to the internet, yes. Yes. The other person may or may not be connected to the internet. They can be on RF also, but you're using the internet to take you through. But you're using RF to get to here, and it's translating you on the other side. Here's another version. This is a dB Mega on top, and this is the Blue Spot. This is one that's a little bit different. The way this one works is you take this, and by the name Blue Spot, it uses Bluetooth to actually connect to your phone. So this one you control over your phone. You can link it, you can unlink it, you can do things over your phone. So if you're portable, it's a much, much easier solution to use. So let's see what other pictures I got in here. So here's indeed, like Doug's got right over here right now, yeah, go ahead and.
All right, guys, could we have a little demo here? Let us know where you're located and your call, please. We're at a club meeting right now. This is KB6RRX asking for a demo.
6RRX, prescription plus. I like that. Anyway, the handle here is Gary Golf Romeo Runway Yankee, and the call sign is November Mike 5 Colorado, and we are in Roswell, New Mexico.
How about the N2 station? Where are you located?
Okay, it's not coming back.
Anyway,
So that's just an example of
you go
just
tune in
getting on
to
the Cossie
San
Key.
Francisco,
You're getting
down
people
everywhere.
all around the world. I was on listening actually about a year ago. A guy gets on, makes that first call. You know how hard it is to push that button the first time you do anything, how hard the button was.
Thank you for the demo there, guys.
He talks,
Appreciate it.
somebody comes back to him. He is so happy, he doesn't understand. Long story short, his first QSO was with Seoul, South Korea. That is pretty cool. And here is the Zoom Spot, the one that I showed earlier, this one right here. These are the boards that sit inside of this. So one of the reasons why I made sure I did this tonight is next week, John is going to be showing, or be talking DRATs at the meeting next week. And DRATs is a digital mode that goes over D-Star that uses a computer to send data. And they somewhat work with this, but it's kind of a different thing. So with the digital modes, there's a lot of excitement. And these, like you see, these are homebrew type things that you can put together. Should I talk more? Is that good? Thank you very much. And if you need more wine,